It's Monday, April 24th, 2023, and I'm Dave Sobel. Three things to know today. A study reveals 66% of people turn to ChatGPT for IT advice, and Gen Z leads the way, with AI outperforming TikTok, but faces opposition in workforce decisions. Twitter API restrictions spark concerns as emergency services face potential limitations on vital information sharing, and SMB businesses surge 20%, $400 million in monthly Downstream credit. Let's talk cloud investments acceleration amid economic uncertainty. This is the Business of Tech. Every 3 years, Carl Palachuk and Small Biz Thoughts bring you a spectacular 2-day online conference, and they do it right. Mark your calendars and plan to join on May 17th and 18th at the SMB Online Conference 2023. 2 full days of content, more than a dozen speakers, a special Killing It Live podcast recording, and much more. Save $100 by registering today at smbonlineconference.com. I'll see you there. IT service provider Electric surveyed 1,000 people to find out where they get their IT advice. A whopping 66% of respondents said they went to ChatGPT for help with their IT problems, according to the study. Gen Z is the generation most likely to seek IT advice from ChatGPT at 83%, followed by millennials at 67%. Gen X and baby boomers didn't trail too far behind at 50% and 48%. They also looked at the accuracy of these results, and as you might guess, it varies, but ChatGPT outperformed TikTok. In other sentiment data, Pew Research looked at the impact on jobs overall. 62% of respondents think AI will impact workers generally, but only 28% believe it will impact them personally. About half think it will have no impact, or the impact will be minor. The significant insight is that Americans oppose AI use in making final hiring decisions by a 71% to 7% margin, and a majority also oppose AI analysis in making firing decisions. Pluralities oppose AI use in reviewing job applications and determining whether a worker should be promoted. Beyond that, majorities do not support the idea of AI systems being used to track workers' movements while they are at work, or keeping track of when office workers are at their desks. Why do we care? It shouldn't shock anyone that customers are trying out generative AI tools for solutions. This also shouldn't frighten anyone either. Basic support services has trended to commodity for a long time, and specific business advice is of higher value. And we can see that value in the sentiment. Humans don't want AI making decisions about hiring and firing, and there will be a list of similar roles that humans need to continue to be the decision makers, supplemented by additional information, but not replaced. And it's that way of thinking that will be powerful. There's been a lot of chaos over on the Bluebird app this weekend, and frankly, it's all a lot of noise I didn't want to cover. But buried within that is some reporting around the after effects of recent changes that Twitter made to restrict access to its previously open AI. Quoting from The Verge, Twitter's API service, after its changes, lets users post 1,500 tweets per month for free. Beyond that, prices can increase steeply. The hobbyist-oriented basic tier allows users to post 3,000 tweets for $100 a month, and a low-cost enterprise plan could reportedly soar as high as $42,000. And for many emergency accounts, the free tier won't be enough. Twitter's new restrictions, for instance, could affect InsaWeb, the Forest Service's information management system for wildfire. InsaWeb tweets updates on active fires across the U.S. during peak fire season, when several regions of the U.S. are simultaneously ablaze. Quote, "We could easily reach that 1,500 limit," says Stanton Flora, a spokesperson for the National Interagency Fire Center and the U.S. Forest Service. It could also be bad news for local fire agencies, sheriff's departments, and 911 dispatch centers, which residents near a blaze might likely follow. I've been on Twitter for 15 years on some of the very first large fires were used in California, Flora says. Twitter's just especially well suited for fire information because of the brevity and the economy of just being able to repeatedly send out short messages. Why do we care? There's a space of business cases around notification where Twitter is, or was, a viable platform. If you're working with customers who leverage in this way, from schools to governments to health organizations, I wanted to highlight this. I know I initially missed this set of use cases when considering the API changes at Twitter, and I thought listeners might have missed it too. Leave it to Rich Freeman over on Channelholic to find some good data for me to share. He interviewed D&H Distributing's Dan Schwab in his newsletter and got these tidbits. Their SMB business is up 20% so far this year. But I noticed this. They are adding $400 million in incremental downstream credit per month. Rich also caught a study by Archaea that shows 98% of businesses plan to increase their investment in cloud services. The research showing that's not despite the shaky economy, but because of it. 47% of survey respondents said economic conditions had led them to accelerate their adoption of cloud infrastructure and services. And to quote Rich directly, quote, "Such numbers point to a welcome fact of life for IT providers. Most businesses will happily boost spending in tough times on product and services that make them more efficient. And that is what it's all about." Why do we care? Rich's insight is one I share, so I want to add one. If distribution is leaning into credit, providers should be taking advantage of this. You are not the bank. You should not offer terms. You should not float money for customers. If you want to offer terms, leverage someone else's credit, which is where distribution can provide significant help. You are not the bank. QuoteWorks, the leading solution to create professional, branded quotes and proposals in just minutes. With over 55 integrations across PSAs, distributors, accounting, and more, QuoteWorks has more integrations than any other quoting solution for VARs and MSPs. And best of all, genuine people. They're there for you. No need to create tickets, instead, people on the other end of a call. Want to try it for free and find out how to start saving time creating quotes? Visit quoteworks.com/MSP Radio. Thanks for listening. Today, National Pigs in a Blanket Day. That one is too good not to share. I will talk to you again tomorrow. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Like the content? Support the show at patreon.com/MSP Radio or buy our Why Do We Care merch at businessof.tech. If you want to reach our listeners, visit mspradio.com/engage.